lead to major downfall of global financial markets. As if it's all Trump's fault. Let me just point something out to you, that the Holy Bible tells us there's coming a time when you won't be able to buy or sell unless you take a mark. This mark that basically pledges allegiance to the beast, the Antichrist. Now it's interesting that currently there's talk about taking the Pledge of Allegiance out of our schools, almost making it a crime to force kids to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Yet there's coming a time when the world is going to tell you to pledge allegiance to this person, to this system, to this global authority. Sign of the times, people. We're living in those times. And let me just tell you straight up, doesn't matter who becomes president, Bible prophecy will come to pass.
सही लग रहा है वे सही टाइम में अपन बाहर ये कहाँ से आया ओ ये स्टूडेंट है साला नैनो को देगा
37% less than their predecessors and are 75% more energy efficient. They can be adjusted according to the amount of sunlight that enters the stadium and can change color temperature during different events. Another set of LED lights shine upward to the roof and can change colors, giving the stadium a truly contemporary look designed by the architects. From the field, the concourses, to the accent lights, everything is LED.
This whole stadium is an LED lighted system, so it's going to save both our energy level and also it's going to, I guess they want to change the light bulb for 30 years.
Of course, no modern stadium would be complete without a couple of huge scoreboards showing images better than your big screen at home ever will, and speakers as large as school buses to make sure you're totally immersed in the action. All of this was made possible by 3 electrical services that are 12,000 amps and almost 14 kilovolts each, equating to 18 billion watts of power. That's enough for 165,000 homes. Handling the installation and connecting everything together with more than 2 miles of cable trays the skilled men and women of the Powering America.
Okay, so this is just to confirm that I'm here trying to make a mortgage payment in cash. I have $1,380 sitting in front of me for a $1,371 mortgage payment, and Bank of America is rejecting a cash payment of my mortgage.
Sir,
Here in Lakeport, California. Is that correct?
so you need to turn that off.
Is that correct?
You need to turn that off, sir.
This is what I've just been told. Bank of America has just refused to accept my mortgage payment in cash and is insisting on a kind of a wire transfer. Apparently, in America, cash does not pay the mortgage anymore, is what I'm being told today in Kelsey.
Let's say the United States needs money. Instead of issuing their own United States notes backed by their own credit, they issue treasury bonds. They then sell these bonds to the Federal Reserve, which buys them with money they created out of thin air. The money that the Fed created then goes to the U.S. The U.S. then pays interest on the money that the Fed lent to the Treasury. So to clarify, the Fed creates money from nothing, loans that money to the U.S., and then charges interest on that money. What this means is that there is never and will never be enough money in circulation or in existence to pay back that debt. We as a country, as well as private citizens, are forever enslaved by debt with no way of ever paying it off. Now, when the Federal Reserve buys bonds on Wall Street, the major financial firms that have been selected as dealers deposit the proceeds at their own banks. Fed rules require banks to keep 10% of their deposits in reserves, but the bank is free to issue loans equal to the remaining 90%. Let's say the Federal Reserve buys a $1,000 bond. After putting away 10% into their reserves, they are then able to loan out 90%, or $900. Since the original $1,000 is still on deposit, the $900 in loan proceeds is more new money, money created out of nothing. A total of $1,900 of new money is now available in the economy. Now the person that took the $900 loan spends that money. The payee then deposits the $900 into their bank account, and once again, reserves and deposits increase. This process goes on until that original $1,000 bond, which was created from nothing, becomes $10,000, making this one full-fledged debt machine while also devaluing the dollar. The more money that is out in the economy, the more the value decreases. There's no wonder that since the implementation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, the dollar has lost over 95% of its value. The US dollar will eventually be destroyed due to an overwhelming financial crisis, and a globalist-run monetary authority will come along to save the day. And much like the Fed pretends that its goal is to prevent another Great Depression, the global currency will pledge to prevent another financial crisis, thus putting more power into the hands of a few and enslaving humanity that much more. That's the way of the U.S. government. Just like Benjamin Franklin said, if you sacrifice your liberty for security, then you're a patriot. Or something like that.
Crazy.
What's been the biggest change in your life since then?
The biggest change in my life since then, well, probably Believe. Releasing this album has been probably the biggest moment of my life. And just the transition and you know, knowing that I'm maturing, my fans are maturing, and finding the happy medium and where my voice sits and, you know, what songs to release. It was tough trying to figure that out, but I think we really got it down perfectly.
Do you reckon you will ever forget the welcome that Australia gave you last time?
Never, never. I'm never gonna forget that. The last welcome was incredible. I mean, the fans, the hysteria. I mean, even this time, I think it's different because in the airport, I went out the back and I have like the car scoots me right when I get off the plane. So I go into the car and then I can drive right up.
I'm here for the rodeo. Forgive me for my dress, John, but I'm working, and I had no idea there was going to be a wedding tonight or something. And I'm working over at the other network, and I couldn't get dressed up for this cockamamie affair here. But it's a great night. The president, Don Durgan, is that his name? Don Durgan. Who cares? He was in the back in the hall, walking around going, "I'm the president." He told that to Reagan, who stepped on his hand and left. Governor Reagan was thrilled.
Yeah, he was very excited to see you.
Why am I talking to you? I don't even like you, Joey. Anyway, I kid about Joey. I know him a lot of years.
I can't wait.
What the whole thing is, for God's sake, let me talk.
Oh. Well, listen, wait a minute. As long as you're imitating me, his name is not Reagan.
It's Reagan.
It's Governor Reagan, and once he explained that to me while I was introducing him. It was practically an insult. I call him Reagan, and he says, "Jack, the next time you introduce me, it's Ronald Reagan." So I said to him, "The next time you introduce me, it's Benny Kabelski." That's my right name.
Esas pavas todavía viven en Highland. Porque molaría. ¿Queréis ver algo que mola de verdad?